Welcome to Off Track, the motorcycle racing podcast, brought to you in proud partnership with J&S Accessories and B-Moto Motorcycle Insurance. Josh Owens, welcome back, mate.
Hello, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you very much.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been too long, I think.
It has been.
It's been far too long.
There's already people.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to get this chat back again. So I love having you on the show, and you're always good value. You've always got a good story.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to be back here again. It's got to be 18 months since we had you on, and you've not done the video thing either.
Oh no, this is new. Last time I sat there with last time I had a cast on.
You did?
Away from everyone.
You did.
So
back at Donington Park.
Yeah, it was. It must be. Well, it will be, won't it? 18 months or something
Yeah.
like that. But a long time ago. So
Yeah. New team,
new team,
new season,
new season,
bike.
new bikes, new everything. Really, innit?
Tell me about it. What's going on?
Yeah. So obviously, I've jumped on with Hawk this year with the Crendon Honda. It's been interesting. It's been new. It's been a lot to learn. A lot to learn about working with a newer team. You know, having like more of a crew chief and. Hang on one sec.
You can do it. It's fine.
Hello, June. All right, no worries. See you in the morning. I've got
in demand.
I've got to lock up the garage, so I'm letting them know.
We're
sorting out where we're putting the keys, but no, all good. Yeah, so new bike to the team. So it's obviously been manic. We got to Spain, which was obviously really good, but unfortunately we only got a day out, or about a day and a half at Navarra. So we didn't really do much, and then we came to the UK, and as usual, we had a lot of poor weather, so we didn't really get much
Standard
done.
practice,
Standard UK. We had I think a full wet day at Silverstone, which was good. Bike felt good there, but obviously in the dry, it's a totally different story in it. So, but it's one of them things we just got a little bit down on track time compared to some of the other boys. But I think we're doing a reasonably good job considering. Well, we're there or thereabout with top Honda every weekend, so it's not bad. I think we just had a bit of being unlucky a little bit with myself making a few silly mistakes and obviously being taken out and stupid stuff like that. But that's just racing, it's part of it. Unfortunately, if you can't deal with that, you're in the wrong sport. You should take up cooking or something. I don't know. But no,
if you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen.
Yeah. That's it, mate. That's it. But no, it's been really good. It's good to Steve's got a lot of experience working with young riders, and I'm very lucky to be taken on. He spotted last year that he felt like I had a bit of potential, so he's given me the opportunity to try and, massage it out. I mean, look at Brad rode for him. Look where he is now. He is an excellent rider. Kyle, again, another great rider who came through the Build Base, well, back then Build Base, but Hawk Racing.
Yeah, it's the Hawk Racing
Hawk
team,
Racing
the family.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
definitely a family, and I have got a family vibe at the minute. I've just come back on a TT. I was over there for like 3 weeks or something with my mechanic doing, and then obviously 2 weeks race week with everyone and helping out. Felt good I like getting involved, but it reminds me of back in the day when I ran the Moto 2 a little bit, and when I ran my 125 and won the championship. So it's really good. I love tinkering and having a little look at what's going on, and yeah, I enjoy that side of things. So it was mint. And I don't know, did you go to the Isle of Man?
Not this year, sadly.
Oh,
nah.
So you've been before?
Oh yeah, I did 2 weeks there last year with the team, yeah.
Lovely island there.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable. I had done a lot of running. I had done a park run, which I got fifth in, which I'm quite happy
incredible.
about. And then I'd done a bit of mountain biking, which was, the tracks were insane. Like a lot, I love me mountain biking. Yeah. So I went there and rode some of the enjoyable tracks, and it was absolutely mega. One of the best days I've had in a long time. So I'm a little bit like stuck in my ways, me. I'm not one of them people who lovey-dovey and all that, but I actually did fall in love with the island. I got to admit, I was like a bit...
Not lovey-dovey, but just as well, your missus is not here.
I know,
she's gone for a shower now.
She knows, she understands, she knows what I'm like, I just get on with it. But I actually really did enjoy the time there. It was, it was sad to actually leave, but happy, unhappy to come here. It's one of being one of them tracks where just don't seem to get much luck and much of a break. Never seem to have a good feeling, and never get lucky as in, I've had a big injury here before, and then obviously last year I had a crash at the test and then a crash in the race once I felt like I was getting somewhere. So I've come into it with a bit of a fresh mindset and try and clear it all out the way. But like I say, it's always FP1 this morning. It was a bit like, don't really want to be here, don't want to go out and whatnot, and it's shown in the result. I was slow and not riding well, but this afternoon's been good. We've made a good step, and I've made a good step as a rider around here. So no, one of them things. Good to be back on a bike and not cleaning flies off a fairing.
But you were cleaning Michael Dunlop's flies off.
Oh, yeah.
So, it wasn't just anybody's, was it?
Yeah, that's it. And I've been accepted as part of the ND family a little bit, so that's mint. So, yeah, we had a really good 2 weeks. Really happy for happy for Michael, as much as he rode really well as Super Sport, the twin and everything. But most important, I was happy for Steve when they took the Superbike win. It's a massive achievement to do the TT, and to even win it is like another level. And you could just see the relief on the faces. And I've been spending a lot of time at Mallory and doing bits and bobs with them and whatnot, and you can see how much effort they put in, and it means a lot. And it was good to see them get the results. I was really happy for Steve and really happy for Drew, my mechanics for Michael as well, and my other lad Justin. Unfortunately, he's not here this weekend. Work have said, no, you need to come back. So unfortunately, he's not here this weekend. So June's flying solo and doing a mega job. But I'm really happy for them all, and yeah, just hope one day I can repay them and do the same here. That's the plan.
I don't see any reason why not, mate. And when you look at what you did last season with the Rapid CDH team on the Kawasaki, and the team that they have is Dean puts a cracking team.
Oh,
together.
yeah, unbelievable.
For the budget that they're on,
yeah,
they do a fantastic job.
100%.
Every team does a good job on this pit lane.
Yeah,
and I don't think Dean would mind saying at all that the step into that, what I would say is the middle band of Superbike team, with a slightly bigger budget, slightly more resources, no less an effort.
No, the effort's still there.
It's all there for everybody.
Yeah,
this ain't
100%.
easy.
No, that's it.
In any way, shape or form.
Everyone puts his 100% in. It's just, like say, with these guys, Stuart and Steve, even Stuart's not here today, but he's ringing me up. He's asking me how am I getting on. I'm saying I'm doing this, and just a little bit more experience, and that's no one's fault.
Can't buy that,
how long Stuart been doing this game for? I mean, we were at the TT and he was going back in 1960 or something. I was doing this around anything. He's got so much more experience, and that's just he's just been about a long time. And today it was like, oh, I'm struggling here, and then he was like, oh, try this, try that, and and it means a lot to have that. And when almost a little bit for me, I struggle a little bit with my mental side of things, believing in myself and whatnot. So it's a little bit good to see that such a team who has had previous took me on and think they can see something. That's a good thing and a bad thing, because then the other side of me is like, well, you need to do it. So then I put loads of pressure on myself. But it's good to be surrounded. I was really happy today to be rang by Stuart and be like, oh, how are you getting on? You've done a good session there, or you've done this, and yeah, it meant a lot. So it's a good environment to be in. And like I say, last year I was with Rapid, and there was no effort, no lack of effort from them. They did 100% all the time, no matter what. It was, it was all still the same, still about racing, still about doing as best as you can. It's just that now we've got a little bit more budget, so you can afford to try new things and try this and that, and get the, whereas they're bartering to try and get this new part off FS3 or from World Superbikes or whatever. They're here, we can afford to maybe get it a little bit earlier and try it a little bit sooner, rather than having to wait a few more rounds or whatever. So but again, effort from everyone's all the same. Like Superbike now, it don't matter who you are. You can't get away with you can't really get away with half-heartedly doing it because you just struggle, wouldn't you? You need to put 100%. Yeah, you need to put 100% into the game. Otherwise, you just get spat out.
Yeah,
team and rider.
As a young rider with the success in the sport that you've had, just going to touch on something you just said there, with a British Championship in the last 2 years. 3 years? 2 years?
Well, I won
2 years. When did you win it? 2020?
2018. So it's been a while since I've been on the podium, really. I won the championship in 2018 on the Moto2, and I won the 125 championship in 15. So
18, Jesus.
So
it's further back than I thought.
Yeah, it's been a while now. I've been getting on.
Not in the grand scheme of things. You've still been learning the superbike in that time, and it doesn't come easy.
No, definitely.
I mean, any way, shape, or form.
I jumped on the superbike when the end of 2019. I ran my own Moto2 for a bit, and then Dean gave me the opportunity to jump there. So realistically, I came into it quite young, and with it, I came into it young, and to that, no disrespect to them, they were still learning as well. So it was a long, learning process. You got like the likes of Max, who's come into FS3 and they've got a lot of experience. So that means they can just give you a little bit more of a guidance, where me and Dean and Colin, we have to just figure out a little bit more ourselves, you know what I mean? And it just takes a little bit longer. So it shows here where I've come in, and even now I'm still like, just a little bit not understanding of how to get the most out of the electronics and stuff from me. You know, I can come in and like, oh, whereas I'll be like, oh, I don't know why I can't make the corner. I'm like, feel like I'm closing the front. Like, oh, it's just because you need more pullback.
Yeah.
Whereas like usually I'd just like try and ride around that issue myself. So it's all them little things that, you know, and you just pick that up as that's natural progression, isn't it? So
of course it is. But for a young rider now who's still, you're not even mid-20s yet.
No, 23.
Exactly.
Although Ellie did pull the grey hair out before. So it's not boding good for me, is it? And I'm going bald somewhere back here, so I keep on combing it over to try and hide it.
You can have a massive comb over by the end of next season. There's going to be a trip to Turkey for you coming, mate. I know.
The only good thing is I can grow a good beard.
You got something on me. Not a chance. Never have been able to. When you've won 2 British titles, how come you struggle to believe in yourself?
I don't know. I've always been one of them people who struggles, like, especially even when I rode the Moto2, I struggled with it then. And like when Kyle came and rode one, like I knew Kyle was fast, so as soon as Kyle, like, I'd be doing a certain lap time and Kyle would pass me, and then that was it. Then I'd just like go slow, and it would be like almost like a thing. Oh well, I can't beat him, and then I'd like back off. It's like a weird thing that I've got in my head, and especially when I came into Superbike, you know, people would pass me and I'd be like, oh, I can't live with them, so I just like roll off almost and shut off. But now it's a lot better. Now I understand I belong here, so I just push and I give 100% no matter what now. But I still a little bit doubt myself, and I'm like, oh, you know, even like now it's like, do I really deserve to be where I am with the team I'm with and stuff like that? And that will get better. And I think once I've had a few more solid results, a bit more consistency, it'll probably just be, I'll be like, why did they even think of that? But at the moment, it's just one of the things I'm going through. And I've luckily enough, I've spoken to a few people and they're 100% behind me. They understand where I'm at and they can sort of see why I'm a bit like that. So they're trying to I wouldn't know the word, coax me out of it.
Yeah,
and
it's exactly the word.
You know, come on, you do deserve this opportunity, and I think that'll come with time. And yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just I suppose it's natural, a bit of like an imposter syndrome. And surely to God, I'm not the only person who's going to suffer with it. And I think a lot of people do. It's just some people can, you know, override it a bit more or whatever. And so by the time you set off in the race anyway, you forget about it. It's just the more trying to not let it get too much of you over the weekend, because like this morning I didn't even want to be here. I wanted to be back home, where now I'm like, I've got into a little bit more and it's like, right, let's go tomorrow, you know, rather than if you're like, oh, do I deserve to be here, blah 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 or whatever, and then before you know it you're like, oh, I'm over this. Your heart's not in it then. So it's just trying to conquer it a little bit, like whether that means you sit down and just chillax a little bit, you know, listen to a bit of music or whatever beforehand and try and not think about the job at hand or whatever. But I'm still finding my feet with it. I try different things and I don't know. I'm sure one day I'll 100% know why I'm doing it. But like I say, I'm still young, so I'm still figuring out general life stuff. So everyone thinks I've been here for years, but like I say, I'm still only young, so I'm still figuring out little bits and bobs. But
you shuffle a bit further forward, mate. That's it. I'm kind of looking behind myself. That's it.
Shuffling my way back on. I keep on thinking I'm going to fall back.
You're going to disappear off down the back there at some point. It's not unusual to have that imposter syndrome. I have it,
yeah.
And I've been doing this podcasting thing for 10 years, and I sit back and I'll be in the back of my mind. I'll be thinking, you know, why do you agree to come and talk to me? You could far better things to be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you look around, but the reaction that we get to the podcast and the reaction that you get from the fans and people on pit walk and things like that. Wholeheartedly, 100%, you deserve to be here.
That's
but
it.
You have to believe that.
Yeah, you have to believe. It's all right.
Anybody can tell you.
Exactly. Anyone can tell you, and until you believe it in yourself, it just doesn't happen. And it doesn't matter how many times. I'm a bit weird where like 1 minute I'm like, yeah, I 100% deserve this. I need to do, and I can, you know, in my own heart, I believe I can be on the podium and believe I can win races. And then there's just a little tiny like devil in the back, and it's like, no, you don't deserve to be here, or you don't deserve to win, or whatever. And you're like, it's just conquering that and almost shutting it away. Do you know what I mean?
Hard.
It's hard, and I think sometimes you need that because it grounds you. You know, it doesn't mean you 100%. Go, oh, look at me, I'm Mr. Billy Big Bollocks or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think.
Whereas, like, I'm a little bit, you know, like a bit more grounded and whatever, and I'm not bothered about certain things. So it's good in some ways because it keeps you normal. But then
it's about being grounded.
It's just. You need to try and, when it comes to actually doing the job around, you just need to shut that bit away and crack on, really, which...
I think it comes with experience as well.
Yeah.
the more I do this, the better it gets. I don't think that I'm anything special. I don't think I do a particularly good job sometimes, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you go out and you come back and you'll come in pit lane. You think, well, that was hard work, and then you come in the box and the boys go, "Good job, mate."
Yeah.
And you go, "Really?"
Yeah, I had that obviously today.
Yeah.
Because of obviously this morning I was like, I think we've done 65 laps, so we've done I think we've done the most laps out of anyone or something. But this morning I came in, all they wanted me to do was get laps, and obviously these guys are front runners basically, or I say, and then I come in and I was basically last. I was like, oh my god! But then they were happy. They were like, you've done what we asked you to do. You just needed to get laps in today. You went out on a hard tire and just chipped away, and that's all they wanted. But in my own, I was like, I've let them down so much. I'm last, or pretty much last here. What am I doing? But they were happy to see me just getting the laps in and getting the data. And then this afternoon again, I didn't smash a lap record. I've gone quicker than what I did last year, unfortunately. I think I got it took off me. I think I went over the white line down there or something. But I've still gone faster than what I ever have done. And I went a second quicker than what I did this morning. So, yeah,
I was. It's huge.
Yeah, which, again, I'm not top 10, but just that improvement is oh, you've done a good job, Josh. And in my own, I'm like, oh, maybe, as long as I just keep doing them little chip away, little bits, and doing what they ask me. I can't ask for, you can't, I think I've got to accept that I can't just go from getting a few, this year, although it's been tough, I've had a few points score and finishes already, whereas last year the aim was just to get points. Now it's a bad race, I feel, is getting points. You're like, oh, yeah, should have been top 10 or should have been this. So it's understanding you're not just going to go from scoring points to being on the podium. It's a process, and I think I'm starting to get that now, which is what I need to do. But I don't know, it feels like, because I've obviously done the Northwest and then I've done the TT and then now I'm round 4, it feels like I've done a full season of racing. But it's not even mid-season. I mean, I feel like, oh, it's already coming to the end. But I'm I look back and I'm I've actually got 7 more. Yesterday I was walking up the paddock.
This is only round 4.
I've still got 7 rounds left. What am I panicking for? There's loads of time. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
What have you done? You've done 9 out of 33 races.
Yeah.
That's all we've done.
Yeah. It's not a lot, is it? Really, when you think
this is round 4, and we've only just done FP1 and FP2. So there's plenty more to go at.
Oh yeah, 100%. We've got stuff to try as well. So I'm happy with that, and just try and keep learning and steady away.
I think one of the coolest things that I've seen this season so far for you, and it did make me smile, is that the group shot in Parc Fermé with Michael as you at the front with your floppy hat on. I was so chuffed for you, because it's not been an easy ride to get to where you are now. And I know the journey's still continuing. It's not over. It's still only just beginning, especially now for this season with the new team and that step up to take the next step. But to see that and to see what you've done out there, for me, I just had that little smile. I thought, do you know what? Fucking good on you.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't know, I'm very fortunate this year that one of my good sponsors helped me out and whatnot. So I can afford to, if somebody offers me something and I feel like it's going to be a life experience, I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. And I'm so fortunate that I can do them things. And like you say, to be a part of that. And, someone said, oh, you're doing this and you're doing little jobs, but you've helped. It wouldn't be possible still, even without your little input. So yeah, it was mega to be there, and it's a really good team environment this year. Do you know what I mean? And I think Steve's happy with the way things are going, as far as everyone's really, it's the garage now is a bit more of a team atmosphere, which I don't think they struggled with a little bit last year, from what I can make out. And at the end of the day, as much as you want to go racing and whatnot, you need to enjoy it. There's no point coming away, because you dedicate everything to racing. You give up a lot of things to be able to do it. So if you're coming away and hating it, then there's no point you doing it. Eventually one day you'll burn out and you'll go, enough's enough. So if you need to try and get that bond, and which unfortunately enough, me and my mechanic, I'm a data guy, we've got that bond now. I brought it in, and I'm I like making a joke and that, so it's made everyone a little bit more relaxed and made it a proper atmosphere. So it's what we needed, and I think spending them few weeks with them and almost living with them, we're all in one house, we're living with them, it brings you closer, you know what I mean? And then you understand how each other works a bit more, and I think that made them realise maybe what I was struggling with a little bit. They've seen it in me, seeing my character change. I think it was before Donington, I was at the workshop and I went from Mr. Go Happy to come Monday, I just went poof, didn't want to and my mood changed, because I knew it's fucking going racing this weekend. What am I going to do? I'm gonna struggle here. And I was already beating myself up before I'd even got there. And Julian was like, "What are you doing?" And I can speak to him no matter if I rang him up. I was like, "Mate, I need a hand with this or whatever." I can speak to him and it'd bring me out of that thing. So no, it's a really good atmosphere we've got going on. So I'm glad that I've been brought in and allowed to do these trips with them.
As a TT opened your eyes as a person? Was that your first TT?
It's my first proper time.
First time and immersed in it and everything else.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Mint, innit? It's mint. Everyone looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's insane." But I don't know. I've done a few laps in the car and whatnot, and I just see it as like a track. I'm not disrespecting anyone. It's insane. Like, especially then, anyone who does it, it's insane. Anyone who finishes the races and gets through it all, absolutely mega job. I can understand the buzz. But then top boys who are racing it, that's another level. It's just like ridiculous. And that I would like to do it, definitely. When I'm older, yeah, I would love to be able to say I've done that. You know what I mean? It's one of them things I would like to do, but not like I'm speaking older. Not like
my older, but just older.
Yeah, not your older. maybe mid-30s. I'd say I want to do what I feel like I can do here, and then maybe get to the point where it doesn't matter about it. I would love to be able to just go, like, I don't know, in a couple of years if I do well, and ring Steve and go, "Look, I want to do it, but I don't want to get a result. I just want to do it." Do you know what I mean? And I would love to be able to go and just tick it. Do you know what I mean? Like the Northwest, I would love to be able to go and do it and just go, "Yep, done," and not even worry about where to finish. Just literally ride it and enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's dangerous. It's this and that and whatever. And everyone knows the risk when they go and do it. So, but I can understand the satisfaction and the actual, like, I went for a run around the Northwest and I ran up onto the coach. So, what's it called now? Where the Lidl is?
A Metropole.
Metropole, that's it.
Yeah.
Ran
Metropole
up
back to the paddock.
Yeah, and you're just like, wow, it reminds you of Anglesey, but like on another level. So I just think that must, like, the endorphin rush off it must just be insane. Do you know what I mean? It just must be mega to be able to ride it.
We spoke to Hickey back at Silverstone, and there was Coops and Josh as well, and asking him which was a favourite part of the Northwest, because it was just about to come up.
Yeah.
And Hickey said that coast road.
Yeah,
it's just going under the bridge. I forget what it's called. Then you go up over Black Hill.
Yeah.
And where you see Michael lifting the foot. So it was great pitch. He's all crossed up, giving it what for. And it just looks the most amazing place. And I think you're absolutely right in what you say, because when you look at the riders that go, I'm a big fan of mature riders going. Yeah. Like Glenn was at the right age to do it. Because he was, what's Glenn now? Is he 32?
I wouldn't know.
Something older like than me. Considerably. Considerably older than you. But to go at a certain age when you can understand and you can mitigate the risk. Like, well, I'm not going to push for that. And do like what James Hilliard does. Such a slow starter. He will only push as much as he wants to. Yeah. I know Michael can push beyond that a little bit when to do a 130 lap on the Supersport bike. Yeah, I know Hickey did it as well on the Triumph, but Michael did it first.
Michael did it first on an R6, an actual 600, not a 765. I had to say.
No, I'm leaving you to that. I'm leaving you to that one. You're absolutely right. But it was a true 600.
I'm Michael Dunlop now, and I've got to say.
You are his biggest fan. That's it. You're part of the family now, mate. And then that's the cool thing about it. I mean, I watched every bit of coverage of the TT, and I love it.
Yeah.
I needed this year away from it because last year kind of messed me a little bit. We did 15 days there, and then the things that went on, and it's like this year I was happy to miss it but sad not to be there. It was really weird. And then watching it on the TV feeling, and then sort of watching it on the TV, and Jen said we should have gone, and which we should have done, but we're already booked for next year.
Oh, well.
So I just wanted this year just to step back, and also I have a weird feeling that the closer and more friendly we get to riders anywhere, you just like, especially there in the Northwest, you just have that nagging feeling in the back of your mind. But that was just how I felt this year. So that's down to me.
It is hard one, isn't it? Because especially there, I mean, here
you've got to respect it from top to bottom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, today you came and asked me, can you come and do this and whatnot, and you understand, which is what I like. And I didn't like the fact that when I was on the grid and whatnot, you've got the live TV coverage and they're going, and you're like, really, or shoving a cat in. Like you gotta understand what they're about to do. They don't want that. Do you know what I mean? And fair play to them. You know, they do it and they get on with it, but it's not what they need. So I can understand why you feel a little bit pushy when you're like, could you just do an interview?
Especially here. If I came to your place and we went out on the bike, which we will get a chance to do at some point. We'd be busy start to the season, but we will get a day out sorted as well. You can make me look really ordinary, and more ordinary than I just already am. But it's always a tricky place to do it. But it's can you do it? But I'm not offended if you say no. And even when I came to you at the garage now, I was like, are we still all right?
Yeah, that's it.
And if you'd have said no, it wouldn't have mattered. I'd just gone to the bar earlier.
I know what you're saying, but here it's a little bit more relaxed, so you can afford to, I can do that. But there it's just like for 2 weeks, even I, for 2 weeks, was like, that nothing else mattered. It was like, right, let's just get focused, get through it. And even whether it was just making sure that everyone had lunch or whatever and this and that, but nothing else matters. That's it. You're focused on that. So I can understand how you felt a little bit wary about. I can understand. I didn't see it. Obviously, like I didn't see it, but now speaking to you, I can understand where you're coming from.
Exactly right. And it is difficult to explain, especially maybe for the viewers and the listeners that have not experienced it. It's weirdly out of respect that I didn't want to go. That was a strange
it makes sense
thing. But we went to the Northwest. That was fun. You know, we had a great
Northwest
time.
Of the mega event,
that was so cool.
Even
had my balls felt in the Villa pub in the bar.
Oh no.
No, it doesn't happen very often. But I have to thank Dom Herbertson for that. Creeping up behind me and grabbing a large handful. And when you're
reach around.
No, it was straight underneath. He didn't even have the decency to come round. He went straight up and underneath. Like that was a bit of a shock. You know, you get that horrible little feeling in the pit of your stomach. I was like, please let go. So hang on a minute. You're a motorcycle racer and you're a lumberjack. You've got a decent grip. Please let go. It's just nuts. It really is. But the TT thing, how they do what they do, how they do it. Am I leaning back?
No, you're right.
It's your board as well, though.
It is, yeah.
You got your YouTube,
little YouTube logo on there. My videos just came out from Donington. I've been a bit busy, so I haven't been able to edit it.
It's not easy, is it?
No. Everyone thinks you just slap it together.
It really isn't. Even Storm's finding that.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. Look, mine aren't perfect, but even just like going through it and cutting it up and making it watchable, mine's no movie. It takes one to know one.
The cameo appearance from Wazza from PBM. What a good fella. Another man who's good at the seat. He knows exactly what it's all about.
Yeah, he was over there with Batham this year, wasn't he? Helping us out. So
lovely fella. A lot of time for Wazza. What a boy. And what was the same?
I can't remember what we're up to now.
He's completely editing
videos. Yeah, mine are no Picasso, but it is hard.
What do you use?
Well, I downloaded Final Cut for a bit and then realised
that's hard.
That's hard work. So I just use literally. I'll be honest. I just use iMovie on the Mac.
Okay.
And it's simple enough for me to use. It's fast for me. You know. Again, I would love to be able to use more animations and make it a little bit better. And eventually, one day, I'll sit down and do it. But lately, I've just not had a chance to sit down and work with Final Cut. So iMovie just literally allows me to throw it all on. I can crop it where I need it. And I don't use transitions or whatnot because I don't really like the look of it, so I just let it flow up, try and make it flow into one. And obviously, as you edit it, you'll know, so like you'll edit something, so you start to learn how to film it so that it doesn't really need much editing, if that makes sense. So luckily now I can sort of slap it together a little bit. And to be honest, my videos aren't supposed to be this high-end thing. It's just literally my small story of what's happening every weekend,
which is brilliant.
Like my Donington one that's come out, I was editing it thinking, oh my god, anyone who watches this is going to think I look like a slapped ass because I'm so miserable. But then I was like, I don't even feel like I should post it. But then Ellie was like, well, it's raw, innit? That's 100%. What it is.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
It's just like,
it's truth. This is
real world. Do you know what I mean?
And I was talking to Ben yesterday. We did a little podcast. We actually finally managed to get my co-host back on the show for the first time for ages. So that one went out last week. So we're saying that, you know, this is tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
This is tough. You know, it's motorcycle racing in general. As much as we love it, and we do, but the closer you get to it and become friends with yourself and with the other riders, and you look at it and you go like, do you know what? The human side fascinates me.
Yeah.
and especially when you go to the roads, that's a different kind of fascination. But here, especially younger riders like yourself, what you're striving for and what you're looking for next season, 3 seasons, 5 seasons down the road. You know, this is your life. This is what you do, and it's all consuming. And it's great when you see it on the grid. And, you know, like Whit comes along, has a bit of a chat, does what he does, and we see you on the TV and doing the garage and pit walk and everything else. But the amount of focus and what it takes up of your mental capacity.
The mental side of it
all day, every day.
Yeah.
I am a motorcycle racer, and especially more so now when you're not, because you were working previously, weren't you? You were tying a pretty much a full-time job down.
I had a full-time
working all the hours.
Yeah, and now it's like, and you need it. You do need it. You do need them. Once you want to do, if you want to be at the front of Superbike, you need to just dedicate your life to it, and it does take that every day, live and breathe it. Think about it. Can I do that? You know, back at the house when everyone goes to bed, I'd just sit there and I was watching videos from Knockhill and everything, you know, analyze, having a look at what they're doing and stuff. And I don't know, it is hard, isn't it? Just you put everything into it. And the thing is with racing is it's not like 1 minute you can be hunky dory and the next everything goes and you're like, whoa, what's just happened then? Like, it's just out of nowhere. And especially now, obviously, like even getting kit and stuff's getting hard, and you know it's not easy to get sponsors. I'm really fortunate with my personal sponsors that I'm allowed to do what I can do. But when it comes down to like even kit and you speak to people in the paddock, it's getting harder. Do you know what I mean? And you understand that, so you're almost like today, like I say, I feel like I'm letting them down, but they're happy with what I'm doing. They understand the process. But a little bit of you's like you want to please people because you know you could quite easily no longer be there. Do you know what I mean? So that's the be all and end all of it. And you know, everyone's in the same boat. So if you feel like you're not producing the goods, then you know it could be quite easily to go, do you know what? He's not really producing. He's not really giving us the results we need. So you know, who else can we put on it? And I don't think, you know, I'm not saying everyone's going to get rid of you, but even in the back, whether that's going to happen or not, in the back of your mind, or for me, that's how I think. I think, if I don't do the job right, I'm gonna get, you know, my dream's over. You know what I mean? So you put pressure on yourself naturally, and I think a lot of people do. It's not only natural to think I want to do well for me and to keep it going, because you don't want to not live it anymore, because you wouldn't know any other way of life, really, would you? It's this or nothing, isn't it?
No, it is. It's exactly, and that's what I asked Storm and Joe Francis when we spoke to them back at Donington. I said, "Son, what's your biggest fear?" And they're like, "Not being able to do this."
Yeah.
Could you imagine having it taken away from you when you're out of your control? Because as we've seen time and time again, somebody's lost a sponsor and all of a sudden they can't afford to race.
Yeah.
And it is, when you look at it, it's a huge ask, motorcycle racing. You've been there, you know what it's like. Especially in the earlier days, it's somebody funding your hobby.
Yeah.
And it feels really cheeky almost, doesn't it? Like, this is my hobby. This is what I do. I race motorcycles. Any chance you can pay for this? But without that, you can't do this now.
No.
Because you would, without that step, you wouldn't be at Hawk Racing.
No.
At the top table of national racing, and working your way up into the points in the top 10, and over the next couple of seasons challenging for the championship.
Yeah.
It's a weird start.
It's a hard one. Like you say, I always say it's like an apprenticeship. It's like an apprenticeship that you got to pay for.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get that back, really. You know, no matter.
It's not an investment, is it?
No. It's like no matter from.
Well, I suppose it is. It's an investment in your talent.
Yeah, it's an investment.
But there's no return for it.
You know,
the return is experience.
I'm not going to be able to pay my people back.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I just the only repayment I can do is get the results and show them. You know, they believe that I can do well. So my repayment to them is me doing well. Eventually, one day. So that's where you put a little bit of pressure on you. Like, I want to repay. It's not so much letting them down or whatever. It's like you want to repay them with what you feel they deserve, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because they are investing in you and your future. There's not a lot of return for it, but when they see you on the podium and you win a GP2 championship and you're proudly displaying their logos on your leathers when you're talking to Matt or Shaky, whoever in Parc Ferme, then that's the repayment for it. People, I remember seeing those. So I've said this before on the show, and you look at, I remember years ago, Cal Crutchlow.
Yeah.
All the way up, I think, to MotoGP, he always had A&A Lamb fencing on his leathers.
Yeah.
And that was right from his super sport days. And it's like, I never needed fencing or anything like that, but you know that they were there because they were on Cal's leather. So the association continues.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you have long-term sponsors like yourself who look after you and your own interests. It's an unusual sport in that sense.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
But to get to this level, when you look at it, when you strip it back,
when you like start like thinking about it, like most people who speak to you, and you go, "Well, why'd you do it?" Like you saw a race motorbikes, and like, well, I don't know, and they're like, "Oh, well, you must be minted," and you're like, "Well, no, not really. Like, I have a decent life. I'm not complaining, but it's not like I'm a millionaire." And like, well, how much do you get paid to turn up? And you're like, well, you don't get nothing. You don't get nothing. Like, you just turn up, and like, what do you get if you win? Well, nothing really. You just win. All right. Well, why do you do it? And you're like, well, why do you do it? And you're like, well, because I just want to do well. It's like an ego, isn't it? You just want to feed your ego, really.
Well, you're one of the most level-headed and grounded riders that I know. There's not really a lot of ego in there, is there?
No, not really.
You can look up and down pit lane and be superseded by one or two. Not naming any names. Every character's different, and I'm not knocking anybody for it. But you're not. You're a long way away from some of them.
Yeah,
and I think that serves you well. And when we had you on the show before, when we were over at Donington Park, and we got such good feedback for it because not many people had heard from you.
No.
Because you see it on Eurosport and you get looking through that way, but getting to know Josh Owens the person.
Yeah, everyone thinks
for me is mint.
Yeah, because everyone thinks I'm like a dead miserable grumpy. Even them like, why don't you smile? And I don't know, it's just
never
me.
met a miserable Scousey. Yeah, hang on a minute.
That's what I mean. Everyone
Matt Jackson from McCann Yamaha. You just get on with your work. You got things to do.
He never does anyway.
If you had a full finger, I could see it, but not from here.
He never does anyway. How has he still got a job here? Then?
I have no idea. He just wanders up and down pit lane.
He's just part of the furniture, isn't he?
Yes. What a great guy. We have a lot of time for him.
No, I'm always happy. It's just like, I don't know, just look grumpy. And I think people like go, the angry Scouser. I think Witham always says that, but I'm like, I'm not. I'm just like, just the way I look about it. It's just the way I look.
You just look cross sometimes.
Just probably because I'm just like so caught up on what's happening, what am I doing, what just happened in that session, how can I improve? So I look probably like I'm absolutely over it, but if someone stops me to speak, I'm normally a really nice guy. That's what, even like my mechanic, Jimmy, he said I didn't really want to work with you because he said you look like a right grumpy sod, and he's like, we spent a bit of time, he's like, you're actually a really good crack, aren't you? And like once we got going, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm like.
But also when you turn up here on a Thursday, you're at work.
Yeah, I go put the hospitality up and whatnot. Luckily.
Yeah, but I mean, your job is to ride that bike.
Yeah, well, basically, it's a job, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is what sometimes people can lose track of. Sometimes when they approach people, and they. There's room for another one, Christian, if you want it. Wilf Moore and Christian Hidden just putting their 2 penneth in as they wander past. Thank you, boys. And his odd socks.
Hey, I've got odd socks on.
Oh, you've got odd socks on as well, haven't you?
I've got a yellow on this one and then a purple on that one.
Have you got his other set? Because he's got yellow and pink socks on as well.
I get socks, a brand new pair of socks, and mix and match them before I even wear them.
Superstition?
No, it's just what I do.
Just what you do.
It's just what I do. I don't know why. I just like, I don't know, like my shoes, they're a little bit...
They're funky,
but I like stuff like that. A little bit out there.
It's never been said about you before, has it?
No, that's what I mean. People think I'm like that, just like keep myself to myself. No, but I am generally normally a bit of an out there kind of guy. Get anything to go and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, but look at this. Is what I was saying before about this. This is your job.
Yeah.
You know, when I work shifts and somebody came to see me at work, I won't be as happy as this.
No.
I know you have to put that on to a certain point when the fans come along because everybody wants to see you. They want a signed photo. They want a picture, whatever. But you're still at work, and there's so many, and that's why I only do the chats on a Thursday and a Friday, because Saturday night you're already thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he's catching you at the right time where we can do this. It's sunshine, it's Knockhill, it's been beautiful.
That's it. Yeah, it's been a really good day on it, to be fair.
Yeah, I've just been sat watching racing. What do you do all day? Well, I just watch a bit of track action, really, and
watch motorbikes go around.
Yeah, just watching motorbikes going round in circles. And here you come round really quickly.
Yeah, luckily you get to see a lot of us here.
You get to see. I did a track walk last night, and this place fascinates me because it's. You lot will be sick of hearing this. Yes, it's my first visit, But the elevation changes.
Yeah, it's massive.
You don't get it on telly.
No.
You've got essentially
A cliff.
Paddock Hill Bend.
Oh, it's worse than that, isn't it? Down
Yeah.
Turn one is.
But then it keeps
ridiculous.
going
Yeah.
through 2, through 3,
And then it
all the
just
way
goes
down
rock.
to bottom out at bottom of Duffer's Dip, and then you're climbing back up again. It's a fascinating place. What's it like for you in a pilot seat?
It is fascinating. It is bizarre and it's hard. I don't know because I've got like a big thing where I always struggle here and whatnot. But once you get riding it and you get into it, it is enjoyable. It's a nice place to ride. It's just hard to ride fast, if that makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
It's like Cadwell. It's another place where I don't really particularly like, but I can imagine going and doing a track day and enjoying it is fun. But then when you start racing it, it's like, fuck.
Is it hard to relax to?
Yeah.
Because I guess it's one of those a bit like a smaller version of Alton Park.
Yeah.
Whereas if you try and chase it, you're just going to go slower.
Yeah, exactly.
So here you've got to try and relax
as much as you can because it's so bumpy. Like the elevation change and stuff like that you can deal with. It's the bumps that I think are the biggest thing. And like I say, the start and finish straight is uphill like this all the way, so you're constantly fighting the wheelie.
2, isn't there?
Yeah, there's
One
literally
bit further down, and then one just here as
just
you go over the
where
top.
we're stood here, pretty much. Because this
yeah.
is my pit board is here, and the bike's just jumping us and trying to look at it, and I'm like, I've just about seen where I am. So, but yeah, it's just like you come out of Clarks and then turn 8, they call it, don't they? That like fast left, the bike's spinning. And
onto the back not straight.
Yeah, back not straight. It spins, and then you're trying to brake, and it's like you've already like upset the bike, and then you hit the bumps, and you're trying to brake, and you just don't get a minute's rest. Really, that's the problem.
That's something I was looking at today. I was down at the hairpin, and you're looking back. You come into view just as the bike's starting. You're just trying to get
like
it up.
starting to roll.
Yeah, starting to roll off and onto the brakes. But watching the other classes, there's junior superstock, there's national superstock, super sport. I've not seen. Was that it? Junior Super Sport?
Yeah, I think that's it today.
That's
no,
it,
Junior Super Sport went out today. I think Super.
Oh no, they're out tomorrow. Aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're out
Because
tomorrow
all the
'cause of
kids
it.
have got GCSEs.
Yeah, they've got exams, haven't they? And Moto 3s are the
kids.
same. They're out tomorrow.
Yeah,
as well, aren't they?
they've got like 4 sessions or something tomorrow. But watching the 3 that have been out today, there's like kind of cool coming into the hairpin. Like, oh shit, he's leaving his braking a bit late. He's doing this, he's doing that. But then the super bikes come out, and the speed that you're going into Taylor's hairpin,
Yeah, it's ridiculous,
and
isn't it?
you think he's not going to make it, and all of a sudden it drops in. But as I was saying to Ben on the track walk that we posted last week, on the TV it does not show you that there is a 6-foot elevation change. We were stood on the tip, not the tipping in point, but you saw the early apex.
Yeah.
So we're stood there talking. I'm looking across, and the track's up here.
Yeah, you can't see it.
You've no idea of that on the TV. So you're
No.
going in, and as Ben said, and you maybe experienced this before, you're already at the bottom of the fork travel. All of a
And then
sudden, you're going uphill,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
needs a little bit more, and it ain't there sometimes.
Yeah,
And that's why there's so many people lose the front
just
going
at
in.
that last little bit.
Yeah, it's a fascinating place to
Yeah,
ride. Well, it must be mint for you.
It is mint like when you, well, like I say, once you start pushing, it is hard. Like, but I think you need to just relax. And like today, I've got that. I'm getting wise to it now. Whereas, luckily, the other month we did a day at Mallory, and Mallory is very similar. You can't rush it. You need to be patient. And I think over the years, I've been a little bit too much hot-headed and trying to make it fast. And it can work, but then sometimes, like places like this, you just need to be a little bit more. Right, I'm gonna brake in, like out. You know, try and just let it flow and don't make the bike up. You can make the bike unsettled, so the more you can just try and flow and let it be smooth, is the easier you're going to make the race for yourself.
You've migrated that way a bit. Come back.
I know.
You're migrating all the way along now.
You know, I'm like fidgety, aren't I? Got ADHD or something. I don't know. A big kid.
It's this circuit at Knockhill. What's the favourite part for you?
Probably none of it. If I'm being brutally honest.
I thought you might say that from what you said earlier on, but there might be some redeeming factors for
I
it.
don't know. The whole place it's not bad to ride. It's just I don't know. Maybe speak to me on Sunday. I might have a better opinion then. I don't know. Once I've had just a
I'd love to
weekend
see
of
that.
riding.
I'd love to see that. They said this is the bogey track. I mean, I know I spoke to Carl Ride yesterday, and he was saying, you know, he feels the same about this. He's never had a good result here.
Yeah.
And then what they do this afternoon? Sticks it in at P1.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's amazing how things can change.
Yeah. No, there's not to say it won't go right, but it's just, yeah, just need a few more laps under my belt. Today, I think I've done like the most. Like, say, I think I ended up doing like 65 laps. So we needed to do that.
It's convenient.
Yeah, it is actually. We pointed it out today. Steve said that.
even I noticed
65
that.
or 64. I can't remember.
Keep it at 65. it works so much easier when it's your number. When it's 64, it doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
So it was 65.
65.
Don't go and check in. It was 65.
We'll go with that.
We'll go
definitely.
with that.
But no, it's been good.
What's the plan for the rest of the season? If we get to Brands and in the middle of October and you look back across the season, what would you like to see at the end of Brands Hatch to go, yeah, we did good there this year?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got a few things to try, so it'd be interesting to see what they do. I think that'll give us another step, and then obviously Brands Hatch, I like Brands. I normally go well there, so I'm actually looking forward to getting back there. And I think with the change that we can do, I think it should make it a better package again. So we've not been far off top 10s at Alton, so yeah, a couple of top 10s maybe. I don't see why not. I'd like to be around there and just see if we can get that race gap better and just go from there, really. I've not got too much of a goal for this season because I knew it was just going to be obviously the team have got a lot of experience, but not with that bike. So they've got to understand the electronics, understand the chassis, understand the engine and whatnot and how it all works. So, but they've picked that up relatively fast. So we are starting to really chip into it now. So by that time, I think top 10s, I don't see why we shouldn't be. It's once we've got this place out of the way, that's a little bit, we knew we were going to struggle here. But once we get to places that I'm a little bit more comfortable with, I think we should be there or thereabout, yeah.
Brilliant. Can we do this later on in the year?
Yeah, definitely.
Should we do it again later?
Yeah, I've got a few more stories to tell, so I'm sure we can.
There's no point doing them all now, is there? There's no point letting them all come out now. So
no.
let's do this later in the year.
We can do it later on in the year, and I'll tell you about my Spain trip before we went testing because that was pretty chaotic. Just to entice the fans.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to. Normally, I would go, go on, tell us now, but no, you got to wait until later in the year for that
find
one.
Out what happened
because then I get to talk to Josh again, and you get to listen to him and watch him, which is brilliant. Josh Owens, thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks for having me again.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, mate, and we'll catch up soon.
That's the plan.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, mate.